So Radio Africa sent out a fake apology, long words. I don't understand. You guys don't even know wordplay. I mean, you don't know how to run events. You don't even know how to write a statement, because that statement didn't need to be that long. Cock and bull stories, talking up, talking down. It was a truckload of horse manure. So I don't understand. Look, you have to be a responsible corporate citizen. Number one is to identify the right staff to run your business if you are in it for the long run. But now you're mirroring what we are seeing in government, where there is deep contempt of the very stakeholders that keep you afloat. Just like the government, they have deep-seated contempt for the very citizens who put them to power. You understand? So you are mirroring. So we are seeing a degradation of the corporate governance. You are no longer responsible corporate citizens. Because even the people who used to bring concerts many years back, now you're pretending like as if you're reinventing the wheel. People have been doing concerts. We would see the musicians or the star performers, they would come and then they would do some CSR activity. They would go to Kibera, for the show at least. They would do some stuff and then they would do something with upcoming artists. These days, these guys just jet in and then they jet out to Uganda. What nonsense is that? These guys, they've come, they've taken the people's money. But we know the money there was theirs. The bulk of the money has been embezzled by cartels. The cartels who have run the event shambolically. You're running it as if it's even Nairobi ASK show is run better than that concert. And these are people who have paid money. This is terrible as for corporates. Why are you in the business if you're not interested to execute it? I mean, there has to be some element of passion. There has to be a human spirit. There has to be a human component in the business that you do. It can't be just about extracting money. You can still hit two birds with one stone. But if the budget allocated for security has been embezzled, that's why people are being pickpocketed there. If the budget for, I don't know what, for the sitting area has been, you are supposed to have 2 tents or this kind of dome, that money you want to embezzle it so that you can give people a raw deal and you can remain. I don't understand where this greed is coming from, because corporates and government, now you're reading from the same script, you're doing the same shit. So if your heart is not in there, if your heart is not, and your passion is not there, if you cannot identify people who can execute a project, a legacy project, and don't call it a festival when it's just 4 hours. Why are you calling it a festival? That's not a fucking festival. Mogidi people, they do all night. One person in a guitar. Mike Roa would do one night. An entire night he's playing for people, entertaining them. He's only paid what? Less, probably 100,000. You guys get these people for millions. They're coming there to perform for 1 hour. The entire show is 4 hours, and then you're calling it a festival. Stop your nonsense. They are festivals. Festivals are supposed to go for days. Minimum 3 days. That's what you call a festival. So now you concoct this long statement. You haven't even addressed the root cause. You're only focusing on the sound. You're not focusing on the other human elements, whereby half of the, or 3/4 of the tents was allocated to VIPs who mostly haven't paid. You've turned these other characters into the ones who are funding the delusions of grandeur of the CEOs and their wives and whoever, and the people you want to give freebies. That's rubbish, man. You don't even have respect for the people who are keeping you in business. And the people who have paid that money, even you are co-conspirators. You're not any better. And then you're there saying, it's our money. There are some people saying, it's their money. Why are you worried? Look, listen. When you complain, you are affecting us. You're affecting our mental health. You're affecting our digital space. You're coming there with just complaining. You are affecting us because we are humans. We cannot see something. Unaweza ona kwa mwenzako kuna waka moto and then you're there keeping quiet. No. We are also humans. We are seeing our friends, they are complaining. Our family members who are there, they are complaining. And so we are wondering, why would you pay 8,000 first of all to see something that trended in the, I don't know which years? You see, this is your stupidity as the clients is affecting our collective imperative. It's affecting our collective call to action of liberating people's minds. Because here you are saying, first of all, that the 90s were good. Oh, you're suffering from something called nostalgia schizophrenia. You've overstayed in this zone of nostalgia about the 90s, and you don't understand that the 90s was we had a dictatorship, a very brutal dictatorship under Daniel Arap Moi, and this is what he allowed you. This is what he allowed you to access. This is what he allowed you, whether by accident, but it cannot be by accident. It was by design. This is what he allowed you to see, because there was other music being composed during that period. There were many other people who were singing music during that period, but this is what was actively pushed by the national broadcaster, and even the other one, KTN. KTN was still owned by Kanu stalwarts. It was masquerading as independent, but it was still owned by people who are affiliated with Kanu. So even if Jimmy Gadu had come with a show every week for 30 minutes, that is, say you were given 30 minutes of entertainment. That was curated specifically by the dictatorial regime, and that's why you are in a constant state of nostalgia, and which is why Moi said he's going to rule for 100 years. He's still doing it, because looking at your priorities, that you can spend 8,000, you're the same, and then you come to complain. Your complaints are the ones which have triggered this commentary. If you hadn't complained, we wouldn't be talking about this shit. It's your complaints which have led us to this point. Then we go to the next step. You people go and buy. I'm telling you how your stupidity now affects the gross domestic production of the country. You go and spend your capital, that is capital that could be necessary, that could be useful in the economy. You go and buy plots in Isinya, engineered by the same characters who are pushing you to pay 8,000 for this concert, and which coincidentally, if you go to Uganda here, the VVIP was 11,000 equivalent Kenya shillings. So you guys, you go and sink your money into plots, phantom plots in Isinya, those places where you will never get roads, because I told you this is how roads are made in Kenya. The engineers, they conspire with the barons who own the prime land, and that's where the roads go. So that's where the property, like now they were doing it in Lamu, they were making the roads in Lamu and all those places masquerading as Lapset. Because the guys, the connected bastards in Kenya, they go and buy land there at throwaway price. They go and buy at 20,000 bob an acre. And then now they conspire with the engineers of Kenya National Highways Authority, Kenya Urban Roads Authority, Kenya Rural Roads Authority to concentrate roads project in areas where they have bought. And now afterwards, when the roads are complete, the plot they bought at 20,000 an acre, they'll be selling at 5 million an acre, and you idiots will still run there like the idiots who are buying, I don't know, apartments in Kilifi. How do you buy apartments in Kilifi for 18 million? That place was in the middle of nowhere. Now that a road has been made, you can't even connect. So there's a lot of capital that is idle in Isinya plots because of you people and your hard mentality. I imagine you are the same idiots who voted for Sakaja because of dimples. Your poor decision making has gross long-term effects on the collective imperative. So it's in our place to discuss about this, because you are complaining and you have this is a tendency, this is a habit, this is a pattern where you deliberately get into some misplaced and misguided undertakings, and then you come to complain later. Like now, the idiots who voted for UDA, the ones who are twerking, the ones who are doing everything, those stupid, silly women of Moranga who are singing to Okira Tene, they are the ones who are complaining the most today. So why they have a tendency, if you look at them and how they do their things, even privately, they have a tendency of making, or they are predisposed to the wrong life choices. So your decisions or your inability to make the right decisions is affecting us, and you don't want us to call you out, but you want to complain within our spaces. Why can't you go in your WhatsApp groups and complain? You're coming here to complain on our platforms. When we act, you tell us, oh, it's our money. When things go haywire in the government, we have a right to elect who we want based on physical looks, and then now you are complaining. You see the contradiction. You see the hypocrisy of our democracy. This is you people. If you went for that concert, you represent everything that is wrong in this Nairobi. You are supposed to be the most productive corporate class of Kenya, but you're just trash. You're just makaratasi. You're just rubbish. Because how do you pay 8,000 for the enjoyment of Joshua Igara and his corporate buddies there? and I don't know who else was there. You're paying 8,000 to entertain your oppressors, the guys who are charging you interest on your loans. You're stupid.